I've been getting back into doing my monthly resets every single month and I'm so excited to do it with you guys. I hope my voice doesn't sound too croaky or anything. I just woke up and this is how I want to start my day. But let's just jump straight into it and talk about my goals from last month. So just to preface, I am filming this probably like a week before April ends. So some of these I haven't completed yet or I'm only a certain way through, and hopefully I'll get a little bit more progress on them in the last week of the month. But let's get into it. So my first goal was to celebrate 100k on YouTube. I did do that at the beginning of the month. I did a little photo shoot. My boyfriend got me some balloons. We made a Victoria sponge cake and I did some really nice like buttercream decorations. Anyway, the photos are all on my Instagram if you guys want to check them out. But at some point I am going to film a 100k Q&A as like a bonus video. So if you have any questions, whether it's about like planning my life, about vlogs, about Ottawa, if you watch my content and you're from Ottawa or Canada or anything like that, leave them down below. I will literally answer anything. I just want to answer some questions from you guys to celebrate 100k. Guys, I'm just jumping in from afterwards because I realized partway through this video that I said it was March and next month was April for like, I don't know, 70% of the video. I'm filming this at the end of April. We're resetting for May. Ignore what I said. I'm so sorry. I hope that doesn't ruin the video that I got mixed up. Otherwise, it was Camp NaNoWriMo in March. And if you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, that is National Novel Writing Month. And it's a thing that happens in November where you write 50,000 words in a month. And last November, I did do that and I did write 50,000 words in 1 month. And then they have Camp Nano, which is in, I think, March and June or March and July. And it's basically like a smaller version of that where you can set your own goal. And I have been taking part, particularly at the beginning of the month. This was going really well. I finished my first draft and I'm so proud of it. I'm so happy with it. And at the beginning of the month I was writing so much, but then I finished my draft, and when you finish a draft you kind of need to step away for a bit. And then also now I'm doing some like world building background stuff, but I think I was sort of getting in my head because I'm trying to record the word count for that. I feel like with that you're just not writing as much, it's more like editing and like note taking, so the amount of words I'm writing is way less even though I'm still spending time on it. I feel like I shouldn't have put a word count goal on this. I should have put maybe like a time goal. I'll tell you exactly how many words I wrote when we get into my monthly statistics, but I have been working on this goal, but I definitely haven't completed it. I also wanted to do Pilates, yoga, some kind of movement 4 times a week, and I have been doing that. I've been getting so into it and I've been really loving it. So in the first week I did this, in the second week I only got 3 in week 3 I got all 4, and then we're currently in the 4th week of the month, so I have already done it twice. I'm halfway there. I didn't fully get it 4 times a week for all 4 weeks, but I've been really proud of how I have been working towards this goal. And I will give you guys a close-up on this. This is my goals page and this is how I track my goals, and I really love the visual representation of how I fill in goals, whether they're a habit goal, which you'll see on the side, or whether it's like a half completed goal. I really love this visual representation. I wanted to finish a non-fiction book. I did do that. I finished this book on characters and psychology and writing, and I didn't love it. It was very, very outdated, but there were some interesting parts of it. And then I haven't finished this book yet, but I'm really close to finishing Atomic Habits. I wanted to read 5 books this month, and do you know what? Just as I was thinking, I was like, oh, I've only read 4 so far, but I think I didn't count the non-fiction books. Maybe I have completed this goal. Either way, I'll talk about the books I'm reading and some of my favorite books right at the end of this video if you guys want to hear some of my opinions on books and reading. I'm this far away from finishing Hopeless, so I will definitely finish this by the end of the month. I also want to make a plan for the gallery wall in my office. I haven't fully done this. I kind of have a little brainstorm going, and I also have a related goal that I have completed with this. I wanted to start my crochet project. I did do that. It was so much fun and I'm really excited to do more of this next month. If you watch my cozy hobbies vlog, I started it and spoke all about it in that vlog, and that's a really fun vlog if you guys wanted to check that out. I also wanted to press flowers and put a flower frame together. I did do this. I will put a picture up on the screen here. I'm so proud of this, and this was actually a little bit harder than I thought it would be, but it was really fun, and this is going to go up in my gallery wall. And I also wanted to go outside every single day this month, which I know seems like not that big of a goal, but especially when I'm working from home and if we have some like rainy weather, noticing how it impacts my mood, I really wanted to make that a priority to go outside every single day. I have done this every single day so far, and I'm definitely going to complete this goal. Okay, let's get into some of my favorite products. I've been loving my Lush Sticky Dates body wash. I've been using this forever, but this month I was like, I really like it. And you know how I was talking about creating like a vanilla-y scent bubble? This is like the body wash I use to add to that scent bubble, and I've been really enjoying it. I've also been using the Native shampoo and conditioner, and I've been really liking that. As for like food and drinks, I've been loving doing a blueberry or strawberry matcha, and if you guys have been watching my vlogs, I've been making them in a ton of my vlogs, but they're just so much fun and very spring vibes. I've also been loving my walking pad. I've been getting into movement again. I've been getting into cozy cardio as well, and I did a whole video on that. It's a bit of a thing going like a bit viral on TikTok at the moment. It's really made me enjoy exercise and movement. I'm actually just gonna flick through my bullet journal because I feel like we all have like hyperfixation meals, and I plan out all of my meals in my bullet journal, so I'm gonna try to see what one of my meals I've been loving at the minute is. I've been loving Thai curry for dinner. We're literally doing that for dinner tonight. I'm so excited. And then I've also been loving doing lettuce wraps. I started including this segment in my last monthly favorites, and I'm really excited to talk about this again. It is my favorite songs at the minute. I've been really liking Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, Calling After Me by Wallows, Bourgeoisies by Conan Gray. And I'm so excited about this one because this is actually a song I discovered through the music platform I use for my music on YouTube. So I have the copyright to this song so I can play it for you. It is Socialite by Jonathan Lynx, and I've been using it in a ton of my vlogs, and I actually really like listening to it. So I can play it for you now. I also have a podcast I'm loving. I've been listening to Note to Self by Peyton Sarton for quite a while, probably a couple years, but for some reason I took a bit of a break from listening to it. But I recently got back into her podcast this month and I've been loving it. I'm obsessed with Peyton Sarton and I love her fashion sense as well. And that leads really nicely into this part. I wanted to start talking about content creators I've been loving this month as well. I need to start taking note throughout the month of content creators on other platforms, but this month I just have 2 content creators from YouTube. So first of all, like I said, I've been getting way back into writing this month, and one of my favorite writing YouTubers is Brielle Writes. Her videos are my go-to to watch before I get into a writing session. Very recently, like last week, I discovered this booktuber called Peace Love Books EXO. The reason I'm putting her here is because I just feel like I have such a similar book taste to her, and I absolutely loved her videos, and so she's definitely becoming a bit of a go-to for recommendations for me. Okay, let's get into my monthly statistics. This is basically just something I do in my bullet journal. I record how many followers I have on TikTok, YouTube, and how many words I've written that month. So let's start off with YouTube. I have 101,000 subscribers on YouTube at the minute. That is a crazy number to say, I can't believe that. And I'm just looking back at my bullet journal for last month's statistics, and so last month I hit 100k, so that's where we're at for that. On TikTok I have 18.4 thousand. Last month I had 17.4 thousand, and for writing I've written 11,000 words, which is a bit disappointing. That is my lowest writing month so far this year. Like I said, I still have a bit of time left, so I can do some more words, but I think the issue is I'm not actually in a draft at the minute. I'm doing like planning and plotting, which for me, I write less words when I'm planning and plotting, and a lot more I like overwrite when I'm drafting. I am writing as much, but I'm not putting out as many words. Those are my statistics for the month. Pretty happy with those. Now let's get into some accomplishments. I won't do my whole spiel because hopefully you guys have seen a couple of my other monthly resets, but basically I like doing this because it makes you realize how much you've achieved and makes you really appreciate yourself and everything you've done, even when it feels like you haven't done much. I did a collab with a really cool brand on TikTok. I don't know if you guys know the skincare brand Biore, but I did a collab with them and that was so much fun. So that is a big accomplishment for me. I also got my YouTube plaque this month. I can't believe it. I also crocheted for the first time. I wouldn't say I learned to crochet fully yet because I don't think I could do it just like off by heart without a video or without some help, but I did start learning to crochet. We did pizza outside. We set up like our space for our pizza oven. It was so much fun. We also went to Park Omega, which I have been to before, but we went with some friends and that was amazing. That is always such a special experience every time I go. It's basically like a safari park with native Canadian wildlife in Quebec. It's about an hour from Ottawa. We got to feed a bunch of elk and deer and wapiti, and we saw the wolves and the bears, and it was so amazing. And like I've mentioned before a couple times in this video, I also finished the first draft of my first novel, the first draft I've ever completed, so I'm insanely proud of myself because of that. Okay, now let's get into my goals. So I will finalize these goals at the end of April, so make sure to check back in my May reset if you want to see exactly how these goals went and exactly how I framed them, but these are the ideas and the things I am planning on doing for May. So first of all, I want to go to 2 different farmers markets. I already have this planned out as what farmers markets I'm going to go to. I also want to continue my goal of doing movement 4 times a week. I've really liked that goal, and talking about what I really liked last month, I am also going to keep all the same habits from last month because I've really liked how that's been going. I want to read 4 books, I think is the number I'm going to say. I might bump that up to 5. This has nothing to do with my reading goal because honestly I'm quite ahead on my reading goal, but I just like colouring in a circle when I finish a book, honestly. Talking about reading, I don't know exactly how I'm going to frame this goal, but I kind of want to work more on my reading bullet journal. I absolutely love doing this, but sometimes I forget to make the time for it. So yeah, not exactly sure how I'm going to frame it, but I want to work more on my reading bullet journal next month. I also am doing a writing goal, but I'm going to reframe this. So I think I want to write for at least 30 minutes a day, but I think to make this manageable, I haven't picked whether I'm going to do 4 days a week or 5 days a week, but I'm doing it as a time writing goal rather than a word count writing goal. I also want to actually hang my gallery wall on the wall. I also want to plot out my ideas for my contemporary book series. I think that'll be really fun. I don't think I'm gonna write a draft or start a draft or anything, but I have so many ideas in my head. I've been reading some books that have been getting me really excited for that, so I want to plot that out in May. I also have a lot of plans for local travel this summer, so I want to start planning out a lot of my adventures and trips for summer. And they're all things around Ontario and around Ottawa, so I'm so excited for that. And then I also want to tick 3 things off my spring bucket list. I might read you a bit of my spring bucket list right now. It's quite short, it's only 10 things, but I'm really excited to do some seasonal activities this spring. So I have go to the farmer's market, plant something, go for brunch, go to the Arboretum, which is a park here in Ottawa, make lavender syrup, go pottery painting, make my spring vision board, which hopefully I'm going to do that this week, go to the Ottawa Tulip Festival, have a meal outside, and cook with fresh ingredients from the farmer's market. So none of these are massive things. Hopefully they're just stuff I'll incorporate into my life this month, but I like having a little bucket list. I think it gives you that little boost of dopamine ticking something off. Okay, and now we need to talk about next month's bullet journal theme. When I'm recording this, I don't know what the theme is going to be yet, so I'm going to pop some inspo pics from Pinterest up on here so you can see the kind of vibe I'm going for, and I need to work my bullet journal ASAP because I need to get it set up for May. Okay, and now to end off this video, let's get into my reading wrap up for April. Okay, so the first book I finished was The Writer's Guide to Character Traits. This was that non-fiction I was telling you guys about that was a bit outdated. I do think it's interesting to read as a writer, and there are some really useful stuff about body language, but in the whole book I found very small parts of it useful, and my main issue was just how outdated it was, which I guess was kind of my fault. Despite it being quite dark at times, it was an interesting read. I actually rated that writing book a 2.75. I finished Gleam by Raven Kennedy, which was the 3rd book in the Plated Prisoner series. If you watch my reset from last month, you know I've been obsessed with this series. I did find this book a little bit slower and a little bit less, I don't know what the word is, but just a little bit less intrigue. Like, I didn't know where we were going in the plot, but that is the halfway point in the series, so I've taken a little break and picked up some other books. I think I really needed some shorter books and some contemporaries, but anyway, I rated that book 4 stars, and I did really like that book. There was just something about it that, like, I don't know, it wasn't giving me everything. I also read Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. The first half of this book was like 5 stars. I loved it so much I couldn't put it down. The second half was a little bit less intriguing. I really liked this book. There was just something that wasn't 5-star material. I actually rated it a 4.25, which, yeah, I feel like that's more accurate. I'm just reading on my Notion page here. If you guys are interested in how I rate my book, how I organize the books I've read, I have a whole video on my reading Notion page, and you can also get that page on Etsy if you guys want it yourself. Guys, my camera ran out of charge. Let's finish off this video by talking about the last book I'm going to read in April, which is Hopeless. Hopefully I'm going to finish it today. I was really worried about starting this because a lot of people said it was their least favorite in the Chestnut Spring series. I cannot believe, because I think this is going to be my favorite. I absolutely love it, and maybe I was just seeing a disproportionate representation of people's opinions on TikTok, maybe. I feel like a lot of people had this expectation of Beau, who's the main character, well, one of the main characters of this book. I personally don't think I had that expectation, so I've been loving this book. I'm so excited to finish it. It is a 5-star prediction, and if I finish this book in the next couple days, it will be my 6th book in April. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you liked it. I hope you have a nice end to April and a nice start to May, and I really enjoyed resetting and reflecting and getting set up for the next month with you guys, and I hope to see you guys next time. And also make sure to subscribe, because these monthly resets are becoming a reoccurring monthly thing, and I want to keep resetting with you.